new music this week. It wasn't that much. I'm not gonna lie to you. This Ryan Trey project, Streets Say You Miss Me.
I
The
listen to
whole thing,
most
what
of
you
it.
think about it?
I just was happy to hear from Ryan Trey. Like, I haven't heard a Ryan Trey project. I think his last one was in 20, if I'm not mistaken, but I haven't heard a project from him since then, and I've been a big fan of him since I first heard him. And I just think this project sounded good for like a like I think it was like his second outputting. Yeah, he only has one other album, 2018 actually, so it was 5 years ago since he's put out like an actual project. But
Oh
I
wow.
think it has some good sounds on it. I think he had a lot of like he really gives me like Bryson Tiller and like he even tries to play around and like kind of like the Drake with the rapping and the singing too, like doing that. I heard a little bit like even like a Party Next Door influence on some of the songs, but I feel like it was good music. And if you're looking for like that like chill R&B vibe, but he does have some like more upbeat songs on here, I would definitely say go check this out. I think my favorite songs, if I'm giving favorite songs, I think I'd Rather Not was a good one. I Doubt It was good, and Nobody. Nobody was definitely one that I had liked, but I would say go check this out. That's just me. Just
Okay. I gave it a breeze through earlier today. I liked it. I always liked Ryan Trey. He does give you Bryson Tiller vibes. I know when he came out, I don't know about his management, but when he came out in 2019,
yeah.
that song Nowhere to Run, with Bryson Tiller, they had the same manager at
Mhm.
that point. So they probably did some type of work together, collaboration around that time. And Tiller kind of like birthed a lot of people's careers, if we're being honest,
Mm.
around that time. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna give this more of a listen this week. I'm gonna try and get into it a little bit more. But I did give it a first listen and it did sound good. You know what I'm saying? So I agree. Definitely check this out if you into the I mean, he is trap solo. I would categorize him as
Yeah.
trap
Another
solo.
thing I
If
wanna give him credit for is, like, I'm looking at the credits, and he's, like, on a lot of these writing credits. You know, a lot of people have other people write for them or have a lot of help, and obviously, some of these songs he does have help on, but it's looking like he's doing a bulk of the writing, which is always good to see, but
That's good. Yeah, that is an interesting conversation. Like how much do you want other people writing the records and or how much does it matter? You know what I'm saying? I was on Twitter talking to somebody about
yeah.
that song Water. Have you heard it? Yeah, that song was written by Ari Penn Smith, who he's fire. He writes a lot of your favorite R&B songstresses. He was on K Tronada's last project. He's done a lot of stuff that I'm a big fan of, but does it matter that he wrote it as opposed to Tyler? Like, I don't know. The song is fire.
Yeah,
I
I
love the
don't
song.
know. I feel like Drake is a big I don't know, I keep bringing up Drake, but, like, Drake is a big proponent of this, like, when he was dealing with the what's his name, Quincy Miller, when he was dealing with that guy, like, writing for him, and I feel like you
Yeah.
couldn't have Quincy Miller perform that song, like, you even saw from The Ruffs, like, you couldn't have him perform that song and have it sound like Energy or have it sound like No Telling, like, you couldn't have him do that and it have the same effect of Drake's performance on it or like his cadence with it or the way his mind saw it, the different lyrics he threw in there. Like, of course, having somebody else write for you, it could look away because it's like, why can't you write your own lyrics? Why aren't you putting in I guess the energy into your art? Because that does take the energy and the effort to really sit there and write out all your lyrics and learn how to make song structure. But I feel like performance is also a big part of rap and music in general. So
Yeah, I think it only matters to people in rap. I feel like every other
yeah,
genre, people don't really care,
right.
but rap, we care. But, Ari Penn Smith, he wrote
Mm.
Over by Lucky Daye, Move by Beyoncé, Grace Jones, and Tems, or he at least wrote on that. Addiction by Doja Cat, Dying for Your Love by Snow Allegra, Jam by Chronix and Wizkid, Situationship
Mm.
by Snow Allegra. That's just a few. Oh, and he wrote with, Wizkid on, uh, Made in Lego, sorry, Piece of Me, Reckless. Like, he has a lot of writing credits that I really love. But yeah, shout out to him. Anyway, projects. There was one project I briefly wanted to mention. I just found it right before this. Actually, it's called RAVI by Morravey. This is uh last year, either at the end of last year or the beginning of this year, Davido launched his label, and he had two artists on there, and this was one of them. She was on his last project that just came out. and her voice is really dope. And I really like been getting into the songstresses of like Afro beats, like the singers. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows Thames and Ira Star is becoming popular, but I feel like there's more and more of them popping up, like Tyler and then Morravey. But this solid this is her first her introduction, right? It's 5 songs on there. And she has a really dope voice. So if you're into good R&B, Afrobeat type of vibe, I would just give this a listen. Very brief, but that's all I really had for projects. I had a couple singles on here. Did you hear Meg Thee Stallion's
I did
Cobra?
hear it. I
Did you
was
hear it?
messing with it the second time around. The first time, it kinda felt like a normal Meg song to me. Like, I felt like she was kinda just coming out, same kinda cadence, same kinda flow, and I was just like, "Okay, we're getting the Meg song," like the, cookie cutter flow, but I felt like I went back and really listened to the lyrics, and she was kinda getting more into, like, the personal stuff she's been going through and, like, what's been affecting her and, like, how she's been feeling, and I think some of them lyrics were, like, real deep, and I feel like through a couple more listens, I was messing with that. Like, I was really, really messing with what she was saying and, like, the flow she had on there after.
I agree. I agree with you. I think, and I bring this up. I've been doing a lot of
Sure.
talking on Twitter. I don't know about you, but I've been like talking to a lot of different people in there. I've been finding people that enjoy a lot of the same music on there and on TikTok, on live and stuff like that. But I was talking to somebody about the Meg record, and I feel like hip hop is
Yeah.
introspection. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop is just like it's the uncomfortable truth. It's the things that you like don't want to say out loud, but you say out loud. Like if that makes any sense. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like this record, like going back and listening to it, she said things that made people feel uncomfortable, which is what I feel like I find in a lot of my favorite hip hop, right? Like a lot of Kendrick's last album, people didn't really like some of the things he was saying made people feel uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Some things that J. Cole says oftentimes feel uncomfortable. And I feel like that's just the essence of what hip hop is because it's coming from the voice of the voices or the people that don't get to speak in the public eye. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop was like a counterculture in that way. And I just think that anybody who's willing to speak that honestly and like openly and candidly, like it just gives me that same feeling, that feeling like this is real, like this real hip hop. So I fucked with the song as well.
Yeah.
I
I
enjoyed
feel
it.
like, at least speaking on the, like, J. Cole, Kendrick thing, like, I feel like besides J. Cole, the Drake and Kendrick's album when they first came out, like, they were kinda misunderstood. People didn't really get them. People kinda, but that's kinda every time Drake drops. I feel like that's how it is with most artists, like, they say those uncomfortable truths that people aren't willing to, like, hear because people don't wanna always hear the truth, but people get it, like, later on down the line type thing.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. Like I said, not that much music otherwise. These 3 singles I found, and I'm briefly gonna get into them because I don't know if you saw any of these, but La Chamba and Peso. This was something that just came across my feed the other day. Somebody was telling me, like, in terms of trap trap Spanish rap, like trap I don't even know if it's trap rap, trap reggaeton, I don't know what you wanna call it, but Arcangel is one of those, artists that people have been recommending to me. So when I saw the song, I was like, "Let me get into it for real." The vibe is dope, and Peso Pluma is just everywhere this year. I don't You can't really escape him if you're listening to anything Spanish or Latin, so I like this song a lot. The second one is out of these 3 singles I'm gonna get into is probably my favorite, if I'm being honest. Beema by Shenseea and Lola Brooke. I said this before somewhere, I don't remember where, but Shenseea raps better than 95% of these female rappers when she wanna rap. She's on record saying that she's trying to do more R&B and B and singing, which is fine. I mean, do what you gotta do because she has a bunch of dancehall rap records from before. But this record, she's rapping, and I really enjoyed it. And if you know how Lola Brooke give it up on a record, just her vibe and her energy, like she kind of matched Shenseea in this. So if you're looking for a rap record that would somewhat surprise you, I would get that a listen, Beema by Shenseea, and then Tokischa, Candy. Tokischa is a artist from the DR, and she gives me like this real I don't even know, like DR has an energy that I can't compare to anything. You know what I'm saying? Like the energy on all the records that you get from anybody from the DR, El Alpha, who else is from there? I don't even know. I can't even give you that many, but El Alpha for sure. Like she's giving that on this record. And I've been giving her catalog a deep dive this last week, and I've been enjoying her music. So she just put this out on Friday. It's called Candy. I give that a listen.